the president of this function organized on the 150th anniversary of Gandhi Jayanti, your chairman, my friend Mr. E. Ramesh Kumar, the secretary Mohan Kumar, Mr. Guru Prasad Rai, the deputy chairman, your nodal officer Mr. Ghani, all the members of the esteemed family of the Mormugao Port Trust, the members of the press, ladies and gentlemen. In fact, it gives me immense pleasure to be here for this function commemorating the 150th anniversary of the father of the nation, the most revered figure of our great country, Mahatma Gandhi, whom we all remember. And we choose to remember today, especially on the 150th anniversary, in more ways than one, in different ways. And that's how you have different functions, various things being organized all over the country. In the first place, I want to compliment the MPT, your leader, your chairman, and all the officers as well as the participants for so beautifully right from 6 a.m. choosing to have programs which are today very relevant in today's life. Like you had a marathon, what does it speak of? You had a walkathon, fitness. Unless you're fit, unless you're healthy, unless your mind and body is healthy, what would you feed your soul? And when you have positive thoughts, all the good things happen. So you have started with good things. We had a kit being presented here, so much relevant today about the garbage we generate, which every human generates in society, and yet we don't take steps to manage our garbage scientifically. We want to choose shortcuts. We just want to dump it somewhere without having regard for the neighbor around us, for the environment around us, for society at large. As much as I say, the functions you have organized today are relevant and very relevant. Similarly, even after 150 years, a thought would arise. One would ponder as to how relevant was Mahatma Gandhi, how relevant were his teachings, how relevant is what he taught us. I must say, even after a long 150 years, his teachings, his beliefs, and what he wanted actually happening in society is more relevant today than ever before. Of course, some of the principles which he stood for have been enunciated by your chairman. I don't want to sound repetitive, except saying, even today, the world adopts and wants to adopt a non-violent approach. His main teaching, cleanliness, on which the Bharat Swachhta Abhiyan program has been launched by none other than another very tall leader, Shri Narendra Modi ji. It is time to ponder, are we doing justice to this? Are we really concerned? Or are we in some old mindset? It does not matter, we don't care for the environment. As long as we look to be clean, as long as our own surroundings are clean, what does it matter that somebody else's surrounding is dirty? And this is what propagates the main problem. What do we see? Sometimes educated people just take your garbage, put it in a plastic bag and fling it around. And that is what you see along the highways in Goa. You see it alongside here somewhere in Sada. You see it along sometimes in the dark corners of our Vasco da Gama city and elsewhere in Goa. When is our mindset going to change? Today we must realize one thing. If we want something good, we have to do good. Today, Gandhiji's teaching are more important. You have to make them sound in your system. You have to make them sort of reverberate in your thinking, in everything that you do. Only then the society at large will become a much healthier place to live in. For one, I was very happy when the chairman said, right from tomorrow, there is no waiting for another day. No plastic will be allowed. Charity begins at home, and he has started it from his organization. And he said it starts from him. I would like to congratulate him. If each one of us have a little thought like this, sometimes small things matter the most. You would see how what you do in your own life matters so much to society, matters so much for your state, matters so much for the country. Many a time we have got a misnomer in us. In the great task of nation building, in the great task of carrying our country forward, we think it is only the Prime Minister's job, it is only the Central Cabinet's job. We think it is only the local government's job. We think it is only those who run the system, the bureaucrats, including your chairman, it is their job. No. Nation building, the task of doing good, positive action lies with each one of us. And if you are going to clear garbage, if you are going to keep a place clean, I want to simply tell you, a person living in a clean environment who keeps himself clean, who makes it a habit to keep his surroundings swachh, and really, as we say, Kharyan in Nitolsan, in Konkani, really clean, and as we strive to keep Goa clean and green, automatically positive thoughts will flow in your mind. Positive things will start happening, and the place we live around will be a much healthier place to live in. The Mormugao Port Trust has contributed a lot to Goa's economy. It is such a natural, wonderful port. We have had similar facilities being created after spending a lot of money in other parts of the country. And today, with so much of pressure on our roads, it is the endeavor even of the central government to carry your cargo, even to carry passengers, to have people traveling, use the waterways. Here, our port is one of the best, but sometimes negative thoughts overtake us. Sometimes negativity gets the better of us, and you have a few so-called NGOs, a few individuals getting together, and sometimes, and it's a common fact in fact, that our press, our media gets carried away by more negativity to make headlines. And what happens? Good things get buried underneath. And today, that's the reason, in spite of being a good port, a natural harbour, Mormugao Port Trust remains unutilized or not utilized to the fullest extent that it should be. The cargo which used to at one time come here at this port, you are finding that it lands at other ports in the country. Is it the case of the Mormugao Port Trust and all of you seated here that you don't care for the environment? That you want to destroy whatever good nature has blessed us? It is time to ponder. When the answer is a big no, None of us want to pollute the environment. We want, while protecting the environment, to also protect the economic activity, to also make things economically viable. In order the economies really work well in our state to the maximum possible, the best and optimum utilization of the port, it is only then you will get good results, you will have your economy flourishing, you will have good things happening. But what is the attitude of us people? A few NGOs, a few people cry hoarse, we fall prey to that. The same thing gets discussed in gossip, same thing becomes an opinion which is otherwise totally destructive and negative, and that is how we also start believing and we demoralize ourselves. One must realize one thing, Gandhiji's principle was based on truth. Gandhiji's principle was based on doing good things for society. Gandhiji's principle was to do things that will bring the poorest man, the last man in the row forward and his well-being. He preached many things that help to get the downtrodden up in society, like being anti-casteist, being pro-Dalit, bringing the poorest up. When we have these good principles of his to teach, even doing good, the good people, for doing good, the good people have to come forward. Don't leave it only to the authorities. Activism should not be restricted only to the negative forces in society. Today activism has to come from also the good people. No, this activity is good. We want the port to flourish. We want economic activity to take place. We want the hinterland to get cheap transportation, what comes from other countries. We want to have good exports for our economy to flourish. We want to send the things through our port. This should also come from society. This should also come from positive people. Why should it be restricted only to the authorities to fend for themselves? Why should it be restricted only to us in the government to fend for ourselves and defend? You are the creator of public opinion. You are the society whose opinion counts. And when you as a group, when you as wholesome people come forward, yes, let the good things happen. Allow the positive things to happen. Allow the positive things to roll out in our society. It is only then that the negative forces will automatically go down, good things will start happening and happening on a much bigger scale than it is happening. You will have good utilization of capable people, you will have good utilization of talent in society, you will have good ideas coming up, and negative forces, negativity will start moving down. And that is what is truth. Ultimately we have to realize truth prevails. Even you may believe in any God. Sometimes certain individuals are like demigods whom we worship. Today we are commemorating him on 150 years. That is the great Mahatma, as we used to call him. If we are really going to do justice to his principle, let your fitness through marathons, let your message through kids, let your good opinions through various programs you had be propagated not only on a particular day, let it be a continuous process. If good things happen, if good things are allowed to proceed, if we all contribute in the great task of building our nation, of contributing to empathy, of contributing to the economy, of contributing to Goa's growth, and in turn the national growth, we will be moving far ahead than what we can imagine. Today, we also have a very visionary leader who thought it fit that Gandhi Jayanti this time has to be commemorated, toasted, celebrated in a very big way. And who was it? None other than our visionary Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi ji, who himself several years ago, launched the program Bharat Swachhta Abhiyan. Why? Because it was his belief that we have to have a clean India. We have to have people practicing hygiene. We have to have India free of open defecation. Past should be the days when we thought only the rich and the people who can afford should defecate or do their morning chores in their homes, and rest should do the right to bear minimum of good things that should be his entitlement. And that's why Modi ji has launched Bharat Swachh Abhiyan. He has launched the ODF, and I am sure the many other programs what he has launched will help to uplift our society to an extent that is desirable for in our march to real progress that we actually want to achieve. We in the Goa government also wish to take those steps. We want to do those things which are for improving the quality of life of the citizens of this state. There are many steps which we have taken. Today, on the Gandhi Jayanti day, entire Goa, we are having several programs. In fact, after this I have about 5 other programs. They are lined up continuously one after another. Because I believe there has to be a launching of a consciousness. There has to be a launching of a movement from the people, of the people, by the citizens of our state. It is only then we will be able to achieve what we actually set to achieve. Without your cooperation, nothing can happen. In the MPT family, I simply want to tell you, you have all capable officers sitting here. You have a very dynamic and capable chairman in the persona of Mr. E. Ramesh. You have to utilize that for the betterment of not only the port, but of the citizens of this Mormugao Taluka at large. He is capable of doing that, of marshalling the positive forces, not only in MPT, but even outside MPT, to see that MPT reaches where it has to reach. Today, I will say it has the potential to do many good things. Some of the ideas which I have been discussing with him, including having a cruise terminal, these are very forward-looking ideas. These are ideas which will not only give a big name to the Mormugao Port Trust, it will help to build the name of our beautiful state of Goa. Today Goa is a brand name internationally. Everybody knows Goa. Anywhere you go, they feel it is another part of the country. When you say, oh, Goa, because being in the GST Council, I have had the opportunity of going almost to all the states in our country. And there are parts in India where people still think Goa is some foreign country, even though we are also very much a part and a state like the other states. And when I had the GST Council meeting here, people were so happy to have participated in Goa in the meeting that many positive decisions were taken, and which I think will go a long way in propelling our economy, which our Prime Minister wants to reach a 5 trillion level to come 2024, 2025. It is still a work in progress, but I am sure this will happen. And for this to happen, I only want to assure the chairman of MPT that whatever cooperation that would be needed from the state government, it would always be forthcoming. We will be working hand in hand, because ultimately we want the progress of our state, we want the progress of our nation. Let us, while remembering Gandhiji, take a pledge today that yes, I will contribute as an individual. Yes, I will live upon his beliefs. I will take out the positive things out of what he has taught us. I don't say that each one of us can afford to be Gandhi or we will become a Gandhi. It is not possible. But merely imbibing a few principles from him, a few teachings from him will make us good citizens, and good citizens in turn will make a good state and propel our nation to great heights. Once again, I take this opportunity of thanking all of you for calling me, especially the chairman of MPT, the deputy chairman, and all his officials for especially making it a point to see that I was present for your function. Once again, thank you very much, and hope to see good things in the future and the good prosperity of the Mormugao Port Trust and its family. Thank you very much indeed.